Hello everyone, my name is Daniel and welcome to episode 13 in our Devlog series. This last week was pretty crammed. Most of it was spent getting the project ready for something very special that we'll announce towards the end of the video, so mostly just bug fixes and getting everything put together so it feels really nice, so stay tuned to the end of the video to find out what that is. I started out this week editing the devlog for the previous week, so I couldn't really work on the project till Wednesday, but when I finally did start, I added some new goblin attack animations that the animator made. It was a really nice addition because it made the goblins feel so much more hostile and alive, so great job on the animator's part for making it feel so natural. The next thing I did was actually edit some timings for the goblin attacks to make them more hostile because they usually just stood around for a while, so I got that completely out of the way and fixed. The last thing I did was fix a couple of very minor bugs with the equipment system, so out of all that, it was a pretty productive day. The next time I could work on the project was on a Saturday. I had midterms over the week, so I couldn't get too much done over that week, but on Saturday I was able to add these sick looking combos into the project made by our animator. It also included a finisher that you can perform by holding down left click on the fourth combo animation. These animations look so great inside the combat system and just make the combat feel way more interesting and alive. In addition, I started on wandering NPCs. I didn't really finish them till later on this week, but I wanted to get some basic form of NPCs walking just to make any towns feel way more alive and just more interesting, so yeah. The very next day on Sunday, I continued my work on the project. The first thing I did was actually fix the enemy spawner code. I haven't touched it since I made it way back, so it needed to be kind of redusted. I made it so I could spawn any type of entity I needed and however I wanted, so it was a pretty fun system to implement and work on, so no complaints there. The next thing I did was spend a long majority of the time optimizing the big map our level designer was working on. He basically said he was finished, so I went in and I optimized the map heavily for lower NPCs, so hopefully everyone can play it and test it and tell me how they like it. The last thing I did was finish up the wander system and the NPCs. I did that just because I wanted to get that all over with because I started the day before, so I didn't want it to drag on like a lot of other tasks I did. But yeah, that's all I really did. It was a very long and hard day, but very rewarding at the end. Monday was an even harder day. I started off by finishing up some optimizations for the map. I struggled with finding a way to have a lot of agents on the map without it lagging. So the way I fixed this issue was actually disabling and re-enabling the agents whenever the player got in a 150 meter radius around the camp or the town they're in. This worked perfectly and brought up the performance by a lot, so lower NPCs shouldn't have too much of a struggle. After I got that done, I added all the goblins to their corresponding camps and the same thing with the wandering NPCs. I did this and the map completely changed. It just felt way more alive and just more lived in, so that's such a great improvement. The final thing I did was fix a major movement bug where the player would randomly fly up when going down a slope on the map. It was this line where the player would just randomly start floating upwards, and I had no idea why, but I'm not really surprised because when I was looking at the movement code, it was a complete mess from my first try at writing a character controller movement script, but luckily I was able to fix it and get it all to work. I also made it so the player has control while jumping. I had it so when you jump you couldn't move or change your direction, but that felt really clunky when you're trying to get up and parkour somewhere on the town, so I decided just to give them air control. The other thing I did was actually add a very basic pause menu just so it's easier to get in and out of the game, just to smooth out that whole process. That's all I really did this week, and finally for the announcement, for the last 3 weeks our team has been working very diligently to try and complete Phase I of Windshire. This included the movement, the combat, AI, and the inventory, as well as a fun map, great sound effects, beautiful soundtracks, and some amazing animations to go along with it. And after this 3-week haul, I can very happily say that we are about done with Phase I. What does this mean exactly? Well, this means that we want to get some player feedback. This Friday, the 20th of March, we will be releasing the first phase of Windshire to the public. This means there's no private testers, just a public build on a public itch page that everyone can see. We would love it if everyone shared this video to get some attention, because this is a huge milestone for us and the community, and we would love to show everyone the progress. I can't wait to see what Phase II of the project will entail for me and the community itself, and I'm excited to bring everyone along with me. A side note with the map, the designer has put in many different types of Easter eggs into it, and one major one, and he wanted to let the people know that the first person to tell Post Critical the exact number of crates, the destination, and the fallback site will get a reference in the project. It's a very difficult Easter egg to accomplish, but I'm excited to see if anyone takes the challenge and does it, and I'm excited to see you guys in the game if you guys actually successfully accomplish it.